The Shara Parker Show. The internet's favorite cousin. A different perspective on news, culture, and hot topics. The Shara Parker Show.
The internet's favorite cousin, a different perspective on news, culture, and hot topics. The Shara Parker Show.
Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, I'm with Destiny. It's a lot going on. I mean, this show, by the way, this morning is more so going to be about getting feedback from you guys, because I know we can throw so much information at you at one time. But I want to hear from you guys. Okay. So good morning. As always, let's get our business taken care of. Make sure you hit that thumbs up as many times as you can. So like the page, like this video, I should say, subscribe to the page, the Tashara Parker Show channel. Okay. We got to make sure everybody knows what's going on. CPND, thank you so much for the love. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's roll call time. Let me know where you're watching in from. Anytime you let me know where you're watching from, it gives me an idea of who we're talking to on a daily basis. I know that obviously I'm born and bred right here in Texas. Okay. H-Town, stay down, from Houston. But also I know I have a really strong following in Dallas, in Houston. I used to live in Chicago for a while, so I have people out there. Some folks from California somehow found this page. I'm all for it. Y'all stay tapped in. I even had someone said they were from New York one day. And then again, folks just all over. So let me know where you're watching from, how you found this page. I know yesterday's broadcast was crazy. Yesterday was crazy. We had so many people tuning in, tapped in on yesterday, because I think our page got shared to the trolls. Now, I don't know how it got shared to the trolls, but it got shared to the trolls. Okay. It is what it is. They give us some engagement. Hey, I'm all for it. So again, let me know. I mean, not really, because baby, them comments was going crazy. Let me know where you're watching from, all that good stuff. And again, today, I really want to hear from you guys from a standpoint of, I have a lot of questions. All right. So tap in. I just checked in on Facebook just to make sure everything was still going on. Hey, Walter, good morning to you over on Facebook. So again, just tap in and let me know where you are watching from. How are y'all feeling? I asked that on my live yesterday, but I really want to know. We are a couple of days now removed from election night, Tuesday's election night. How are you feeling this morning? I want to say this, and, take it as you will. But, and this is, well, I can't just take my journalism hat off. That doesn't work. But as a Black woman, I feel like we're never given the moment or the space to just to just relax, right? So if something happens, it's almost like, okay, that happened. Now, girl, move on. Now, I know sometimes those are some of the positions and the roles that we sign up for, but I know how it feels to be in a situation where it's like, okay, that happened to you. We've gotten over it. Now you need to get over it. I don't like that. And I don't like the feeling of that. So anyways, I just want to talk today. Okay. I just want to talk. I used to say it was a good show. Today is just me and the family. Okay. Me and the family, me and the cousin crew. We are talking. All right. Because tomorrow, obviously, we're off. That's our Sabbath. Yeah. Because we need time to rest around here. But yeah, I just want to talk about a lot of things. All right. And we're going to talk about the elections just a little bit more, because I think there's some stuff that needs to be unpacked there this morning as well. I do want to start this morning off too with something that happened Tuesday night that I'm not sure enough people are really paying attention to. And that's the direction of some of those smaller races that may seem small in the grand scheme of things because a lot of folks were focused on the U.S. Senate race between State Rep James Talarico and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. But right here in North Texas, y'all, we saw so many major upsets. And that's, of course, depending on what side you're on. And if you're in Dallas County or in North Texas, or even in some of your, cities across the state, there were a lot of upsets that happened. Okay. Dallas County District Attorney John Cruzo trailed former Judge Amber Givens after Tuesday's primary results. That is a big one. And in House District 101, longtime state rep Chris Turner lost to a younger progressive candidate, Junior Ezeonu. We've had Junior on the show. We've had Chris on the show. When you see results like that, I think it raises a bigger question for all of us. Are voters intentionally choosing younger, more progressive candidates? Or are people just tired of seeing the same names in office year after year? And I want to have an honest conversation about that, because I think when we see some of these races and we see some of these younger candidates winning, the political analysts and all of that, they're going to come up with a myriad of reasons of why. But I want to hear from you guys, like directly. What exactly do you feel like is happening? And yes, Reverend Haynes did win in the primary. Okay. And it's not just happening here in Dallas, by the way. Down in Houston, something unusual is happening. Two Democratic incumbents, Congressman Al Green and Congressman Christian Menifee, are now headed to a runoff because of those new congressional maps. And, it forced them into the same district. And the storyline that I'm not hearing enough is all the chaos that we're seeing with folks that were flip-flopping and getting in districts and this and that and the third was done on purpose. We're not talking about that enough, how this was purposely done, purposely orchestrated to push some of these people out of the office. And we can bring it all the way down to Congresswoman Crockett and her district and the redistricting of her district and being drawn out of her district. This all matters. And I think we're not spending enough time talking about that part of it. And I know we're tired of hearing it, but the more we suppress these conversations and don't have these conversations, the more it continues to happen. So anyways, again, back in Houston, voters in that district, by the way, are going to the polls again. They're going to have to decide again between Congressman Al Green, 78 years old. He's been in office more than 2 decades, and a much younger congressman who has only been in Washington, D.C. for about a month. So across Texas, you're seeing the underlying tension play out, experience versus new leadership. And it raises another question that I think we, again, should talk about this morning. Are voters really paying attention to these local and statewide races while they are happening? Or do people only pay attention after the policies start affecting their lives? Now, again, I know a lot of us was focused on the bigger races, but are you paying attention at the local level? Like Amber Givens winning Dallas County District Attorney. Dallas District Attorney is a big deal, a very big deal. And if you read more in between the lines, you'll see some of the things that she was up against and was still able to push forward and push through. Okay. So again, the truth is these races, they shape criminal justice policy, education policy, representation in Congress, and the things that actually impact communities day to day. So again, this morning, we don't have a whole panel of guests. This is just me and the cousins. Okay. Me and the cousins. I want to hear from you. I want to hear how you're feeling, especially in that James Talarico, Jasmine Crockett race, because you cannot win Texas in November without also winning the Black vote on the Democratic side of the ticket. It's not happening. You absolutely must have the Black vote. So we got several conversations happening this morning. Are voters in Texas signaling that they want younger leadership? Or is this simply a frustration with incumbents who have been in office too long? That goes back to the Cruzo versus Givens race, Amber Givens race, as well as Chris Turner versus Junior Ezeonu. Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. All right, so let me see what you guys are saying so far. Crossway, Stacy, I didn't hear what you guys were here. I didn't see what you guys had typed earlier. Hold on. Let me make sure I have all my destinations on. That's what it's called in here. The real Travis Shots, what you say? Dallas for show. Been following you from jump. Thank you in Dallas. Watching from Fort Worth, right down the street. Appreciate it. Callie in the building. I see you. You say, I felt the same way after Kamala lost. What do you mean by that, dreadheaded Texan? Rayshawn says, deflated. I am sorry to hear that. It's been a lot going on, but at the same time, as we're always expected to do, pick ourselves up and keep it pushing. Good morning, Crossway NYC. Miss B 8197, Stacey Abrams, Kamala Harris, and now Jasmine Crockett. So I am tired, but I will show up and vote. That's another conversation we got to talk about, because I saw a lot of people in the comments yesterday, this morning. Folks were saying that they are not going to show up in November. I think that is the wrong mindset to have. And I'm not somebody that's going to tell you what to do, but I am going to say what I'm going to do. And I am going to say, from a standpoint of just sitting this one out is not an option. It is not an option for me. I felt the same way with folks. Now, again, some people wanted to vote on election day. That's like a tradition. That's what they do. But when it comes to making sure that your voice is counted and your voice is heard, I just think it is so important for us to have these conversations. Good morning, Sela, over on Twitch, watching us on Twitch. Destiny saying, I am glad Alyssa Simmons won the Democratic nominee for us here in Tarrant County. Yep, we also need to support Gina Hinojosa for governor. She will need all of the support. So happy for Junior as well. So I'm going to put some questions up here. And I want to start with this one. Do you guys feel like voters want younger leadership? What do you think? What matters more to you when you're picking your next candidate? Is it experience in the office or a candidate promising new direction? I just would love to hear what that conversation is like, and what kind of conversations are you having in your household? Look, I'm not silly. I know a lot of folks ain't sitting down just, at breakfast or at lunch or whatever, talking about politics. Hell, sometimes we just in the door, out the door, when it comes to work and life, etc. And I do realize that many of the conversations that we have here on this show are conversations that people are not having daily at home and with their own families, right? So I just want to know, like, how are you feeling? What type of energy and leadership are you voting for when you go into the ballot box? Okay. Because these younger, more progressive candidates, they've been showing out. They've been showing out. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Hey, good morning, Trey. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, cousin. Chocolate Yogi says we need to show up locally for sure. There's another election happening. There are some runoff elections, yes, but there is another election happening in May as well. Aisha said, oh, okay, so let's talk about it. I voted for John, not Amber. I honestly don't trust her. She is controversial. A lot of people controversial, depending on what side you on. But I would like to hear more from you, Aisha. So what do you mean by that? These are the type of conversations that we need to have, okay? Because when I look at the numbers that came in, she's talking about the Dallas County District Attorney race, okay? When I look at the numbers that came in, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull those up here right now. Dallas County, where's the District Attorney race? District Judge. Why they don't got this in order? Not me complaining about somebody else's system. Attorney. Dallas County District Attorney. Amber Givens received 50. It wasn't just a little bit. 53.85% of the vote. 134,000 over 115,000 ish, right? Over John Cruzo. So I would love to hear your feedback. But yes, Chocolate Yogi says we must show up to vote. Yes, good morning to you all. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. And Cheryl, maybe you can weigh in on this, right? Especially hearing what Aisha just said. Dreadheaded Texan says, yes, I pay attention. We had a mayoral race in my area that's on the outskirts of Austin. Tell folks about that race, though. Why was that race so important? And tell folks what happened. Are you talking? Was this in Leander? Is that what we're talking about, Leander? Look, I follow what's going on. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing and the same area. Who is this? CPND say we have a Democratic representative who voted against socialism. And in my mind, I'm like, if that's the case, resign. earn your money instead of getting our tax dollars paying for your health care. Woo cha. Oh, let me take that off. Got it. Um, who is this? June says, I am not living in Texas, but I think we need younger leaders. What part of the country are you in? Or if you're not in the US, where are you located? But I want to know, why do you think that's the case when it comes to younger leaders? I did have a couple of young folks on the show. Was this last week or was this earlier this week? That was earlier this week. Oh my God, we've had so many incredible shows this week. I did have some young folks on the show this week, and they express their concerns and things that they are looking forward to when it comes to the candidates that are running. But hearing you say that, June, I would love to know why. Dreadheaded Texan, it's depressing that no matter how qualified our women are, they are never enough. Oh my, that is, man. I'm saying as a Black woman, I know how this feels. Okay. I overstand. I saw a caption the other day, or status or whatever you want to call them these days, on Instagram, where you can kind of put how you're feeling for the day. And someone put, they are afraid of Black women in power, something like that. Anyways, yes, I overstand. And that's not just simply talking about the race, right? I'm talking about just life in general. Okay. Been there, done that. Okay. Now we talking. Now we talking. Come on, Trey. Now we are talking, because we got to have some real conversations. I said that, right? And this is part of the real conversation that we need to have. So tell me, okay, Trey, so when you say that, a lot of folks said that Congresswoman Rep. Crockett obviously had national appeal, and she certainly built a brand for herself nationally and obviously across parts of Texas. But I want to hear what you mean when you say more about what you mean when you say, I feel like Crockett did not have a strong ground game for West Texas. Also, what city are you in out in West Texas? We'd love to hear more about that. Hey, good morning, Darlene. Good morning. Good morning. Crossway NYC saying not showing up is a vote for Paxton or Cornyn. Pick your poison. Well, I added the last part, but yes, absolutely. You absolutely must show up. Aisha saying, I hope she does right by Dallas County. Darlene saying not voting is not the answer. So what is the answer? What is the answer? I want to talk about it. Do not get tired. That is what the ops want. 1000%. Y'all gotta stay in it. Gotta stay in the game. You gotta stay in the game. I also want to ask you guys, now that James Talarico has won the Democratic primary for the U.S. Senate seat, again on the Democratic side, what do y'all feel like he needs to do to earn the trust and support of Black voters across Texas? I will say that I interviewed James Talarico early on in his campaign. And we had a conversation. Y'all can go pull that up and you can go and watch it and let me know your thoughts about it. It's on my YouTube page. But his interview was one of my most watched interviews, followed by Representative Crockett's interview. And so I would love to hear from you guys. Love to hear, what do you think he needs to do to earn the Black vote? Because I deep down truly believe, if you just pay attention to the numbers, Texas has the most eligible Black voters, the state that has the most eligible Black voters across the entire U.S., right? And so if you just look at the numbers flat out, you're going to need them Black votes to get you over that line in November. All right? So I would love to hear from you guys regarding what... Hold on. Oh, hold on. We got somebody in the comments. Let me make sure I read this. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for your support. Your question says, looking at this from afar, born and raised in Dallas County, Crockett wasn't really focused on expanding outside of the Black voters like Talarico. And the Texas primary voters was more than Black voters. You are absolutely right. And I absolutely still feel like you're going to need, I'm talking about this last part of the statement here. You're going to need Black voters to win. Good feedback. That's the type of conversation I'm trying to have. That is the type of conversations I am trying to have. And then you got Cheryl Smith here saying, did you notice that JT's rallies look like Trump's? I did not notice that, but I would love for you to elaborate more on it for sure. Are you saying just because it was it majority a certain race, but we gonna talk about it. We are going to talk about it. Love your conversations. Thank you, Darlene. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, y'all in the comments today. Let me see. Hold on. Aisha saying both younger and older, it just depends on the race and experience. She's replying to the question that we had earlier about, are you guys electing younger? Do voters want younger leadership? Hold on, I got another one for you. Do you guys feel like voters are frustrated with leaders who have been in office way too long? And what is too long, right? What is too long? Okay. So what matters to me is universal health care, affordable housing, affordable medicine, education, the bare minimum. And it sucks that we even have to say that is the bare minimum. And it is. Because when I tell you, now I know I got some followers that may have some great insurance, okay? Some great healthcare insurance. But some of us, those of us who do not, who on this entrepreneurship journey, hello, somebody. Affordable medicine and healthcare is crazy. Do you understand? Healthcare is so expensive. I spent almost $500 to go to a doctor and was in there maybe 5 minutes. An appointment that I waited months for, right? To establish care at another doctor, and was in there for 5 minutes. And it was just, I was just like, really? This is what I got to pay this kind of money for? Right? Yes, affordable healthcare, because we are in a healthcare crisis. Very, very good point that you made there. Thank you. Crossway NYC, as it relates to young candidates and young progressive candidates, people absolutely want fresh new ideas from younger leaders whose minds are not stuck in yesteryear. Oh my goodness. Good point. Darlene, I would like leadership that is ready to do the work and not be dishonest. And I know a lot of people have strong feelings overall toward politicians. Okay. So I think that's a conversation that absolutely needs to be had. And I just want to see people get in there and do what they say they're going to do, because they do all this pandering, and I'm talking about on both sides. And it just annoys the hell out of me. They do all this pandering to get people to vote for them, to do all these things. They sound great ahead of time. Then on both sides, they get in office. And then what? Nothing. What do you say? I'm more of an uncle than a cousin. You cousin. These are cousins. Y'all are the cousin crew. Okay. What you talking about? But let me see what you said. I recognize that we have to make way for the youth, and I have no problem supporting them. I love that. Carolyn says that they can get the job done regardless of age. That is very important. I am voting in November. We need that Senate seat and governor. Oh, shut up. You play too much. But I am going to show this comment because you say I am voting in November. That is Don Wesley. Thank you for weighing in. Who is this? I'm always being told to run for office because of my voice and how it resonates with people. I have no idea of how to get started. Well, that's the part I don't know about that now. You got to talk to the right folks. This is a news show, okay? We want smarter leadership. We have to look at more than age. There are smart, well-prepared people ready to lead folks out there, and there are some tired elders who do need to step aside. Look at the individual and their work in choosing, not necessarily the age. I love that. Yolanda weighing in, she's down in Southern Dallas County saying, I'm young and old. I want leaders who will push forward the fight and fight for the issues that directly affect me and my family. My baby is 8. I'm voting for who will fight and work for her. Yolanda, I do want to ask you this because I saw online you in some of the comments, one of your candidates was Junior Ezeonu, someone you supported. So I want to ask from that standpoint, what made you go with a Junior Ezeonu over a Chris Turner, someone who has, done certain things for the community out that way and is an incumbent, has been in office for a while? What made you select someone like Junior over Chris Turner? Appreciate your comment. What is this here? They missed the opportunity again. Definitely frustrating that the most qualified was overlooked. But yes, we have to support James despite feelings. Feelings are definitely valid. My energy is going toward local and statewide candidates. If you want to represent the state, are you willing to divest from Israel? Okay, James. James talking that talk. Talking that talk. Look, let me know. For those of you who missed my question that I posed, James Talarico obviously won the U.S. Senate candidacy on the Democratic side of the ticket. What do you feel like he needs to do to earn the trust and support of Black voters across Texas? Because without it, ain't no winning in November. And I mean that. Hey, good morning, Lady V218. Good morning. Woo, Darlene, honey, talk that talk. Destiny saying, I agree. I have a 9-year-old as well. Their futures are on the line. Hold on, I got another question. This is how you get your questions read, okay? Let me find this other one in here. It says Crockett wasn't focused on 5 metros. She lost in 2 of them in Austin and San Antonio because she didn't spend any time trying to cater her message to Hispanic. I beg to differ on the Hispanic. Now, I can't say anything about white progressives, but I do feel like she definitely tried to get the Hispanic vote. It's why she lost Travis and Bayer. Oh, did he? Absolutely. You don't think I'm tracking? 1000%. Thank you so much again. Something Grandom 987. Appreciate your thoughtfulness in your comments. Let's see here. Let me go back up. Hold on. We don't care about younger or older, but we do want people to do the work they promise, period, with integrity. That part. Straight up. Trey Lincoln says, I lived in Edinburgh, Texas, but had several friends that work in West Texas and asked them, did they see any Crockett signs or media reach? He needs to go into the community and let us know that we are seen. I agree with that, Darlene. I agree with that because to someone's point earlier, when you looked at or saw the rallies and conversations that Talarico was having, I just did not see a whole lot of, of us up in there. So I think that is an important conversation that we absolutely need to have. And like I said, I had a pleasant conversation with James Talarico. I always, again, want to make mention of that. His team was kind and efficient and bent over backwards to make sure that interview can happen. So I will say that. And this was well before it was kind of deep into the race. So I just want to make mention of that piece of it. We have had conversations before, or a conversation before. Megan says, in order for him to win the Black vote, he needs to show up, show and prove that he even gives a damn. Okay, girl, you better talk about it. James, Crockett is a better candidate, but her campaign dropped the ball on her ground game. Thank you, James, for the feedback. Cheryl saying Talarico didn't really reach out to Blacks, did he? With a question mark. You tell me, did he? I'm telling you what I saw. I didn't see a whole lot, but I do feel like they tried to reach out slightly when it came to Black media. I'm only speaking from the Black media standpoint, okay? Like I said, they bent over backwards to make that interview happen. And I didn't have to do a whole lot of running around and this and that and the third. With some of these campaigns, boy, when I tell you when it comes to the Black vote, I can call out some of your faves if y'all really want to go there. I can call out some of your faves, okay? Because I have a big audience here in Texas. And some of your faves gave me the runaround trying to get them on the show. Do you hear what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna go there. But like I said, when it came to the Black media and interview portion of it, that is only what I am speaking about, because I feel like they have a lot of work to do. Going back to the comment about whether or not you saw a lot of us at those rallies. From a Black media standpoint, they made sure that those interviews happen. And like I said, bent over backwards to do so. Okay. Who is this? He got a lot of work to do. If I were him, I'd go on HBCUs and Black media. Good point. What is this? Janae Harrison, skin folk don't mean kinfolk. Let's hope we still in unity for our interests. Okay. Period. Okay. She gonna make sure these questions, or I'm not sure who this is, but Talarico's focus now should go into the black community and meet Crockett voters where they are. He has 8 months to do it while Republicans fight their own runoff in the Senate. He has a lot of time. I want to hear what needs to happen right now, because I'm not here for the folks that saying they ain't gonna vote, they ain't gonna do this, they ain't gonna do that. I want to hear for the folks that's ready to make this happen right now. What needs to happen? We can be in our feelings all day long, or not we, but people can be in their feelings all day long, but it is really about how you're gonna make this happen. Okay. Good point. Okay. Now why you say this? I don't think there's much he can do. Black voters are gonna jump ship. He leaned in on Hispanics and left black people out. We saw it. The damage is done. Who is this? Lakers 18 is coming. Unfortunately, Talarico ran a better campaign. Let's see. I don't think there's much. Oh, I see that. Talarico will need to ensure he appears on black influencers platforms to connect with the people. Who else is this? I am older and got out of my sick bag from Jasmine, not getting up again. Come on, Pamela. If you got up once, you can get up twice. Lois saying the same. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. So what needs to happen at this point? Okay. What needs to happen at this point? Thunder says he did meet them before Crockett jumped in. He went to black churches and met with leaders. Who is this? Aisha, one of our members of the Tashara Parker Show channel. By the way, if you want to become a member, all you got to do is click that join button. Make sure you like and subscribe. All those good things. Y'all are laying it on us in the comments, baby. I am all for it. Let's see here. I am afraid to go. What is this? Oh, you're talking about our earlier comments. Afraid to go to the doctor because of the cost, and I have healthcare. And I'm guessing you're saying you have healthcare insurance. That's a conversation we absolutely are going to have to dig deeper into, because when I tell you the prices are outrageous, and we can have these back and forth conversations all day long, but until folks start addressing some real issues that are impacting folks on the day-to-day, all this hoopla in the air, baby, that ain't doing nothing for me. Okay. Let's see here. Thunder, he needs to apologize and say whether true or not the mediocre black man wasn't a good word. Okay. Let's see here. Boy, y'all coming in with the comments. Okay, real quick. So I invited someone on the show today because, again, we've been talking about young voters. We've also been talking about individuals who beat out incumbents, who have been in office for a while, and just young progressives and what that means for the Democratic Party. So I do want to welcome in one of those young progressives, Junior Ezeonu. Hey, Junior.
Hey, Tashara, thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate you.
No worries. How you doing this morning? Congratulations.
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm on cloud nine still. Still just it still doesn't feel real. So it's an honor to be able to serve in this capacity, and I'm so excited.
Junior, how does it feel for you when it comes to what you're seeing across the board? I told you right before I had you on earlier this morning, I mentioned to you seeing what happened with the Dallas County District Attorney race with the younger, more progressive candidate, seeing you oust Chris Turner for this particular seat, your second time ousting an incumbent in a race that you were a part of. And so I really want to talk, overall, what does this mean for the Democratic Party?
I think what we're seeing is that Democratic voters just want change across the board. They want a new generation of leaders. I think they want younger, diverse leaders. What we saw in the turnout across the board in Dallas County, Tarrant County, everywhere in Texas, people were excited because we had Jasmine and James running, young leaders that were ambitious, bold, that were fighters, that were moment. I think that's what Democratic voters want. Democratic voters are tired of the status quo, the old way of playing politics. It doesn't work anymore. We saw it doesn't work anymore. After Donald Trump won again, we were all frustrated, we were all angry, and we said we want change and we need change.
Yeah. And Junior, I made out every other word of that. I think it's because you're in between those two buildings. He's right alongside of the old Dallas Morning News building and right by WFAA. And I already know how the service is in between those buildings. I was in there for many, many years. Okay. So Junior, I don't know if you can I'm gonna kick you out, but I don't know if you can drive to another location that's not between two buildings, because that's impacting the service that we have.
All right, I'll come right back. Let me drive somewhere and I'll rejoin.
Okay, thank you, Junior. Okay, so we'll try to get Junior back in here. And again, I just really want to hear from a standpoint of those younger progressive candidates who are now looking to take on those seats come November. So back to our conversation. Okay, we're talking about James Talarico and what he needs to do to gain the Black vote. I want to ask you this. What issues should he focus on, by the way, if he wants to build a strong coalition that includes Black communities? I saw you guys saying where he needs to go, where he needs to show up. But what issues should he also be focusing on if he first, right, wants to build that strong coalition with Black voters? I think these are conversations that we have to have. Okay. I just think these are conversations that we have to have. All right. Let's see. Older people tend to favor stability while the youth, this is going back to the youth, young progressives in office comment. Older people tend to favor stability while the youth lean toward change and experimentation. The young should drive progress and the experience should guide them with knowledge, but they shouldn't stand in the way of the future. I appreciate this comment so much because I think oftentimes you get some of these individuals, and this is whether you're in corporate America, politics, wherever, a lot of times individuals who are older in or who are more seasoned in their role, let's just say this, more seasoned in their roles, oftentimes don't want to train up the next person, right? I'll never forget, like in some of these positions or in, again, going back to politics, you'll have people who've been in these positions for years and they have nobody to come in after them. They haven't trained anyone, to come in after they leave said post. So I think that's really a good comment there. Takara saying, call them out is fine. What y'all talking about? Call them out. Who we calling out? Bryn says, can he have a Texas Black town hall? I don't know if he can call it a Texas Black town hall, but sure. I think those are conversations that we absolutely need to have. Good advice. I hope Talarico can come back to the, are you saying come back to the Tashara Parker show? As a matter of fact, if I need to moderate the conversation, let me know. Because I moderated a conversation with Rep. Jasmine Crockett and Black voters. And so I think that is very important conversation to have. Oh, y'all telling me to call them people. Oh, y'all saw my comment earlier. Yeah, because again, these are some of y'all favorite people, and trying to get in touch with these campaigns or set up interviews because they knew that some of these people knew that they had or felt like they had the Black vote in the bag, and they did not need to reach Black voters. And mind you, my reach isn't limited to just Black voters. Let me be very clear on that. Majority Black voters, yes, but reach is certainly not limited. And so I just to run around, even some of the names y'all done mentioned in the comments already. You can go back and scroll as much as you want to. Okay. Trying to get them on the show was very interesting. Canceled interviews multiple times. Yeah. We're gonna have a conversation. Yeah. Cause baby. Juliet says, I am in Frisco, early voted, horrified by what happened in Dallas County, and I want to know what we can all do to help going into November. We cannot sit down. The country needs that seat. I think, Juliet, get in contact with some of the grassroots organizations that are not only trying to get folks registered to vote for November, but also just being clear about the process. What pisses me off is that we knew going into Election Day the potential of what could happen. And as much as folks push for early voting, we can't leave out of the conversation that Election Day was the only day that some people could get out there to vote. So I get that. All right. But at the same time, if we make time to do any and everything else, and it takes us just a few minutes. I mean, I practically had to beg some of my friends to go vote and show me their voting sticker. Because I'm like, what are we doing? Like, are we for real right now? So I think even if you don't get involved on the grassroots level, grassroots can mean a lot of different things, right? But there are organizations that you can get involved with, League of Women Voters, several organizations. What I will say is making sure your family and friends. Those are often some of the hardest people to get get to the ballot box. Your family and friends. You hear your family and friends talk about it every day. Oh, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. My vote don't matter. Like these are people that are in my close knit family. Okay. So family and friends. So if you're going to focus on anybody, let's focus on them first. Again, you can get involved with many organizations, but family and friends. Linda says voting is not the answer. What do you mean by that, Linda? Baby, you're going to have to explain that one. Explain that one. What you mean voting is not the answer? Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe you typed it wrong. I don't know, but explain that, Miss Wesley. HBCUs and Black media are fantastic suggestions. African American churches and historically African American denominations is also a great idea. They gerrymandered to put a Hispanic against Black people, and it worked. Man, get into your feelings, get it all out of the system, and let's focus on getting this thing, winning this thing in November. Who is this? I didn't see Talarico visiting little Liam in those ICE facilities or those families, and they still chose a school teacher over someone with more qualifications. You said it. Y'all remember when politicians came to the churches and barbershops? I get my hair twisted in James' hometown of Round Rock, and I didn't see him nowhere. He wasn't in our spaces. Good points. Good points. And politicians still do come to churches. And well, I don't know about the barbershops, but they were definitely tapping into the churches for sure. It's just which politicians was actually tapping into which churches. That's the part that we got to continue to have a conversation about. Good morning, Tyler, Texas in the building. Let me see what one of our members said. As a Texan who has followed James, I truly believe he will definitely meet the moment with the Black voters. He knew at the moment that Jasmine would get the Black vote during the primaries. Good point. Good point, Destiny. Junior, I see you setting up. Just give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready to roll. Okay. Vashawn Farmer saying HBCUs and Black media are fantastic suggestions. Oh, I saw that one. My bad, you guys. Junior, hey.
Hey, how do I sound? Is it clear now?
Yes, it is. It sounds good. It looks good. So I'm going to ask my question again. Okay. So when it comes to obviously you winning as candidate elect on the Democratic side of House District 101 and other younger progressive candidates winning, what does that signal for the Democratic Party? Because we caught in and out what you were saying, but I would love for you to just mention it again, please.
No, definitely. What I was trying to say is that I think Democratic voters are fed up with the status quo. They're fed up with the establishment, and they want change across the board. I think they want younger, progressive leaders. I think they want leaders to meet this moment. Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico both excited the base, brought out so many new voters that don't vote in primaries. I can't tell you how many people would call me and say, "Hey, why are they dividing the Democrats and Republicans? Why are they having us vote in separate lines?" And I'm like, "This is a primary. It's a primary election." So they were not used to it, but they knew they wanted to vote because they were angry at Donald Trump and they were angry about what was going on, but they were excited about Jasmine or excited about James Talarico. So I think voters just want change. I think voters want new people to meet this moment. And I think post Donald Trump, post that 2024 election, we no longer want to keep playing the old kind of politics. The old way of playing politics is over. We want change across the board. And I think that helped me win in my race and helped other leaders win as well.
I want to ask you this, Junior. You were a supporter of Rep Crockett. She was a supporter of you as well. And I want to ask you from a standpoint of, like you said, getting voters excited that had never voted in the primary. How do you think, for example, again, specifically talking about Rep Crockett here, because a lot of folks are sad, but I want to talk about what she did overall to get people who would not have voted in the primary to get out there to vote. Talarico as well, but I'm specifically talking to Black voters who typically don't participate in these primary elections. How did her support help you and others down the ticket, right, on the primary side of things?
I'll answer this question two ways. So first, we're frustrated that she lost. It disappointed a lot of us because we knew that she would help a lot of down ballot candidates in November by energizing the base, inspiring so many people, especially young Black men and women that never really saw politics as impacting their lives, but they watch her, they follow her, they're inspired by her. She inspired me, and she supported me since I was a city council member when I was 22 years old. So that was very disappointing that she lost, but we understand how politics works out sometimes. But at the polls, so many people, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, came out to vote because of her, came out to vote because of Jasmine Crockett. In Tarrant County, especially Dallas County, we know that's her base, but in Tarrant County, I'm in Arlington,
Mhm.
I'm in Grand Prairie, I'm in Mansfield. You can go anywhere. People were just ready for the change that she brought, and a lot of people under the age of 40 that never voted in the primary before said, "I'm coming to vote
Yep.
for Jasmine Crockett." I said, "All right, I'm glad you're coming to vote for Jasmine, but please consider voting for me as well." So we have to, give her her due and give her her thanks, and understand that she's not going anywhere. She's going to stay in this game and stay in this fight because we need leaders like her. And she inspired me and is inspiring a generation of leaders that are going to follow behind her footsteps.
Junior, okay. Obviously, I'm looking at some of the comments, and folks are saying, I was asking them, what does James Talarico need to do now to gain the trust of Black voters, right? I am not one of those people that's going to even remotely agree with somebody saying they sitting out in November. It's
Hmm.
not happening. Okay. So my question to you is, one, can you answer that? What do you feel like he needs to do to gain the trust of Black voters? Because there's no winning, in my opinion, in November without having it. So what do you feel like he needs to do? That is my first question. And my second question, what is your message to those people that are saying, I'm frustrated, I'm tired, I'm sitting it out in November? I'm frustrated, I'm tired too, just in general, because life be
Hmm.
lifing, right? And
Yeah.
politics is politics, right? We
Yeah.
know this. So what do you say to those people? But also, what does he need to do to gain the black trust?
Yeah, so to James Talarico, first and foremost, him and the entire Democratic establishment, Democratic Party needs to understand that black voters are not a turnout demographic. They're a persuasion demographic. And what I mean is, historically, Democratic consultants or politicos look at black voters as people that are going to vote for Democrats no matter what. It's a terrible mindset, and it hurts us. You have to look at black voters the same way you look at Hispanic voters, you look at white voters, you look at Asian voters as a persuasion demographic, meaning that you got to give us a reason why we got to come out and vote for you. You got to give us a reason why we should come out and consider you. You have to give us a reason why we should look at you as a candidate that will fight for our community. So that James, who I think is a good man, has to come out and meet people in our community and meet them now, like starting today. We can't wait till August. We can't wait till October. Not just visiting the church. You have to visit the churches, of course, but go to the small business owners, meet them where they are, have conversations with them about what they need. Go to the local HOAs, the local PID meetings in the different communities. Meet with the leaders there. You have to be on the ground and have real conversations with black folks, not just in Dallas, not just in Fort Worth, in Arlington, in Grand Prairie, in Euless, across the DFW area. Meet black folks in Houston. Meet black
Yep.
people everywhere. Have real conversations and run on policies that improve their daily lives. Um, and then to some of our folks that are very tired and frustrated and are considering not voting in November, what I want to tell you is this: you have a right to be tired, you have a right to be frustrated, but we cannot sit out. We cannot forfeit our right as Americans to vote, and because our vote is our voice. And the moment we forfeit that vote, we forfeit our rights. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about all the attacks on our democracy, all the attacks on our community, all the attacks on many of our livelihoods
Yeah.
because of the people that are. So your vote is your voice, and if we don't use that vote, we just relinquish it and allow someone else to decide what our future is going to look like, and what the future of our kids are going to look like. So I ask you, um, don't give up. If you can use my race as an example, many people thought I couldn't win, but now we have
Yeah.
a young African American serving as not just a city council member now, but future state representative. There's so much that's possible, so much is possible, but we cannot give up. And Congresswoman Crockett is amazing, and she's not going to give up either. We need her in
Yeah.
this fight in whatever capacity she decides to pursue in the near future.
I want to address something that Cheryl Smith, someone who we value in and around DFW and honestly nationally too. She's a board member of the National Newspapers Publishers Association, the Black Press of America. She never received one press release from James Talarico's team, no campaign money, etc. She did hear from Cornyn. When you hear feedback like that from Black press, from Black media, what do you think that signals to these candidates who are pouring millions and millions of dollars into their TV ad spend or into their digital, ads, etc., but they're not investing in Black media. What does that say to you, Junior?
It goes back to that point that we cannot look at Black voters and the Black community as a turnout demographic.
Mhm.
Black people are a persuasion demographic. You got to give us a reason why we should support you, and you got to support us. And this goes to Black candidates as well, who don't always spend money with Black press or Black
Yep.
media, or go on Black independent media, whether it's online or in or newspapers. So we have to Democrats have to look at Black people with the same respect that we give other communities. We have
Mhm.
to. And the Democratic Party is my party, but I can call out my party when we're not doing what we need to do. And if
Talk
we want
about
to
it.
win these, yeah, when we want to win these races, we got to show people we actually care. And it can't just be lip service. You spend those dollars like you're
Yeah.
spending it in other places. You got to go and meet people and then deliver for them once you get that office, once you get elected.
I do want to ask you this because it's been a bulk of our conversation this morning, right before we had you join us. If younger candidates are winning some of these races in the primaries, does that mean the political priorities of Texas voters are changing, I should say, or just the messengers delivering that message is
I think it's
changing?
I think it's more or less the messengers delivering that message. Um, I think with social media, for example, social media has changed the game in regards of political campaigning and messaging. You can
Hmm.
run an ad on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube and reach a new demographic of voters and
Hmm.
reach them easier than spending money on TV or spending money on mail,
Yep.
you know, and it's reaching two different types of voters. The people that watch the YouTube ads or the Facebook ads or Instagram ads are considerably younger, and folks that receive mail or look or just check their mailboxes for their mail pieces are considerably older, as well as TV. Who has cable? Usually, people that are older have cable, but who's on streaming? Usually, younger people that are on streaming. Um, so I would say it's the messengers and their message, but also the mediums that they're using to, to spread that message, to disseminate their message, and then just running on policies that people care about. I think sometimes when you've been in office for a long time, you're around an echo chamber and
Yes.
a bubble of people that have priorities that may not be what your constituents have or what the new electorate has. Think about it. Politics has changed a lot over the last 16 years, over the last 10 years, and the priorities that people had back in 2016 aren't what they have now in 2026. So I think this new crop are meeting that moment and just meeting what people need.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going through some of the comments here, making sure that I don't miss any before I let you go that you could potentially answer. And folks, again, some, like I said, are just frustrated with how things turned out. But I love this comment from Dorothy saying, I'm tired, but I'm not gonna stop voting. We need our own party. Love that, love that, love that. Okay, so looks like that is hold on. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Arlington resident here. My city showed up for Junior, Alyssa, and Jasmine. If we flip Tarrant County, we win Texas, y'all. Let's talk about that. Um, yeah, so y'all got some high profile races still going on out in Tarrant County, especially heading into November. And I appreciate you guys tapping in with that. Everybody else just saying thank you, Junior, and congratulations. So, Junior, I want to let you go. I know you've had a long morning on the interview trail because folks want to talk to Junior, especially since he's the candidate elect. But thank you so much for making time for the Tashara Parker Show channel.
Well, Zashara, you've always been there, always giving me an opportunity to come and spread the word and let people know who I am. So I will always be on the show whenever you need me. But thank you for all that you do in speaking about the issues and the things that matter to our voters, that matter to our constituents. And I thank you for all that you do. And I look forward to joining again. So just let me know when you need me. And thank you guys for y'all's congratulatory messages. It means a lot. Let's keep working.
Thank you, Junior. All righty, folks. I am looking at your comments and all that kind of stuff. Yes, Vashawn, I love when he mentioned that persuasion demographic. You got to make sure you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna have that vote." So yeah, I got to get Amber Gibbons on the show because we got to talk about her winning. Who that hurt? Dallas County District, Dallas District Attorney. That is certainly a race that we're going to talk about. And I think I mentioned this, I know I mentioned this yesterday when we got off here about what's his name? Lord, not I can't think of this man name. Controller. What's Kelly Hancock? Kelly Hancock got beat Tuesday, y'all. Now, just because he got beat, don't think it's gonna be that much differently. But I just think with Kelly Hancock rearranging that Texas Hub program, I'm sure a lot of people were probably like, okay, now look at you. James Marie saying, what is this? Election day needs to be a federal holiday. TC, you missed the show, babe. Where were you? Where were you? Judge Dreads said politics is all about money, nothing else. What else ain't about money? Everything about money. Everything about money. You follow the money, you're gonna follow everything. So yes, politics for a lot of people that are in office is about money. But I also think, again, with some of these younger candidates, that they are showing up and showing out and doing what needs to be done. And a lot of them actually do care about issues that impact us daily. I think that healthcare thing needs to have its own show. Because, baby, when you start to, now, when you talk about following the money, when you start to follow the money of healthcare, oh man, it is something serious. It is something serious, like for real. Yeah. Which one is? Hold on. Who was surprising for you? You said Crenshaw. What is this? I just can't do it. I'm not giving him my vote with the way his supporters have been acting, and he or his team have done nothing about it. Okay. So one thing I want to say is that there was a lot of rhetoric online on both sides of this race. And there are a lot of like influencers and creators and people that are influential saying things. And primaries are messy. What sucks in Texas is that we've been disenfranchised for so long that the Democratic side of the ticket has never really seen a or in a very long time, I should say. I won't say ever, excuse me. I won't use an absolute. But for a very long time, we haven't seen a competitive primary. So when it gets to this season where you're seeing all this mudslinging, and I had head of the Texas Democratic Party on my show Wednesday morning after the election, primary election, and one of the things he said, he was like, man, y'all forget the last time the Dems won, 30 years ago or so, they was calling each other cokeheads. You see what I'm saying? And they still won in November, mind you, 30 years ago. And so all I'm saying is it was a lot of mudslinging on both sides. And I don't think this race got nearly as nasty as it could have gotten. So I know it's a lot of stuff that's online, again, on both sides. But this thing ain't get as nasty as we've seen in the past. I'm just going to say that. And I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying politics is nasty. And it goes there. What is this? Oh, now hold on. Who this from the sharp shot? I'm old enough to remember when Obama beat Hillary. We had Clinton supporters talking about party unity, my ass, saying they won't vote for him. Cool. That energy gets you nothing, and Obama still won. Child. Choo. Let's see. Yes, Cheryl, I'm glad you mentioned that. There are a lot of lies, AI, and bots. The way people using these bots nowadays, did y'all not see yesterday? We had almost 700 people on this stream yesterday. And it's because we was talking about Talarico and Crockett specifically. All them bots, I refuse to believe that these are people who genuinely care about what we are dealing with or doing in Texas. They went ham yesterday in my comments. All kind of nastiness. Okay? But y'all was there. My cousins was in there. My cousins, my real ones, y'all was not playing with them people. Okay. But yeah, the bots, bots are certainly playing a huge role in what is going on. Who is this? Steve saying Talarico had nothing but respect for Crockett. He is even offered not to run if Crockett wanted to run. She said she wasn't running. Oh, we ain't going back into the back and forth on that end part. That was a whole lot of stuff. But I do agree he has absolutely stood 10 toes down on saying publicly that he has respect for Rep. Crockett. Amber doing a press conference right now. Where her press conference at? Where is that? I know you lying. Is it on YouTube? Girl, you better help me find this right quick. This is why I love my people. Come on, where's that, y'all? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Let me see if I can find it. Where is the press conference? Y'all talking about she doing a press conference where? It ain't on her page. Where is the press conference? Hold on. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, we can get that. Sure can. What time is it? 11 o'clock? Oops, loud. Girl, come on and show me the stuff. Imma try to get it. Imma try to get it. Girl, it's this ad for me going for 30 seconds. Not as going for the full 30 seconds, boy. These ads. Oh, here you go. Watch Amber Givens live. It's the ad, 30 seconds, y'all. I'm trying to get it to play. The stream will start shortly. If we get it, I'm sure gonna share it. Thank you, Aisha. Now, Aisha, I'm making sure it hasn't started yet because I just see the screen just going in circles. Is that what you see? And see, this is what I'm talking about. How did I not know that this press conference was happening? Like, this is what I'm saying when it comes to Black media and how we treat Black media and independent media. Like, cha, cha. But hopefully it starts. Hmm. Aisha, am I tripping or has it not started yet? Um, Not voting for Talarico. Sorry, going back through some of these comments because y'all been on it with the comments. Not voting for Talarico is a vote toward Trump keeping the Senate. I'm just saying a lot of people talking about Talarico supporters are nasty. Maybe those nasty JT people are really just bots and trolls making you stay home in November. Cha. This says Noah the fish. I feel like a lot of the issues that Republicans want to divide and conquer Democratic voters and are exploiting that we had a competitive primary to do so. Um, who is this? I agree. We never know until the last minute. Had no idea, but we're gonna figure it out. Thank you to Aisha. You want to be a producer, Miss Breaking News? Email me, media@tasharparker.com, girl, because you be on it. Nah, I appreciate you big time. Okay, they said it hasn't started yet. Um, oh, this is a good point. Jasmine Crockett put the party in a tough spot entering late. Talarico had become a star by the time. And you know what I heard somebody say? A Democratic political strategist, Chuck Rocha. And actually, let me be very clear, he also helped the James Talarico campaign. But one of the things he said, and I appreciate you mentioning this, Steve, is that when Crockett entered the race, it wasn't just James Talarico she was up against time. And that is a good point. I appreciate you mentioning that for sure. All right. I have always wanted to be a journalist. Oh, wow. Steve, allegedly, there was a talk of him running before she decided. Da, da, da. I don't see how taking corporate money is bad when they all do that. Okay. So I'm going to end this because I want to make sure that I can take this stream. I don't know what's happening or what time it was supposed to start. I had no idea that this was happening today. Xavier Babes, the show is over. We were waiting on a press conference to start. You got to do better. As a matter of fact, you need to join and become a member if you're going to be late every day. Okay. Okay. Cha. Janine say keeping the stream said it'll start shortly. I sure sent them a message like, yo, can y'all add us to the press list? Because I want to know when the stream gonna start too, honey. Okay. Okay. Um, Linda, babes, this is one thing I want to address this real quick. This is one thing. One, thank you for your comment. One, thank you for saying you missed me on channel 8. But I think when you're in the public eye, people don't expect you to evolve, grow, and change. I know I'm wherever I'm placed, I'm going to try to do my absolute best at whatever the position is. Traffic was a vehicle, and no pun intended, but it was a vehicle for me to have more important conversations surrounding other issues. If you think about it, you may remember me for some of the work that I did on the morning news. But I think majority of the people that started following me, yes, appreciated what I was doing on the morning news with traffic, but saw that it was much more than that for me. I can guarantee you that most of the people who started following me because of my authenticity surrounding natural hair, the Crown Act, testifying in front of lawmakers in Austin multiple times to assist on the back end as much as I could with getting the Crown Act passed here in Texas, which did pass back in September 2023. And so while I appreciate comments like this, sometimes I just be like, we've done a lot of growth, and we've had a lot of growth, I should say. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to use your comment to say that, but I appreciate you being here. Appreciate it. Dorothy says, I love you more here. Stay here. We love you more now. This is important. Absolutely. 100%. Aisha says, God put you in this place for a reason. Yolanda, thank you. Thank you, sis. Appreciate that. Yep. Cheryl, 100%. Yep. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. Who said Texas is a lost cause? Did I miss something in the comments? They just had a record-breaking turnout where Dems outvoted Republicans. Absolutely. Did I miss that, Steve? Who said that? Are you just drawing up some conversation? Which I'm cool with that too. But who said that? I missed it. The comments been going and I love it. But that's what I wanted today's show to be about. A conversation, because I think it's important that we have that conversation. Okay. So, anyways, I'm going to end this stream. I don't know what's going on with the live stream for the Dallas County DA race. But if they started, I'm going to push you here. I'm going to push you here. Megan Ford says, independent media is where I get my news now. You were placed where you needed to be when you needed to be there. That's it right there. 1000%. Somebody got to tell me about Discord, because I've been seeing folks telling me to get on Discord, and that's a whole new platform. Hell, I'm just figuring out YouTube. And what is Discord? Everybody been talking about Discord. I done got on Twitch. Still got to grow over on Twitch. But what is Discord? Lord have mercy. In fact, they were saying I need Discord for like in real life content, IRL content. Look at me over here on Google. What is Discord? What do young folks say? Free real-time messaging, voice, and video chat platform designed for building communities, which I do, and server building communities and communication. Originally was popular with gamers, is now used widely for various social, hobby, and study groups. Okay. Email me, crosswaynycmedia@tasharparker.com. Oh, babes, we on Substack. We on the sub to the stack, baby. That was one of the first platforms that I got on after I left the station. Oh, they say Discord full of what? Really? But we can't have our own Discord? Is Discord similar to y'all remember Clubhouse? As a matter of fact, is Clubhouse still around? Anyway. Discord is helpful for churches, professional cohorts, books, book groups, etc. Don't make a Discord without moderators, though. It will get out of hand. Ew, yuck. See, that's why these apps, child. It's too much. It's too much. We support you here as an independent journalist now. See. Clacky. I love this camera. Let me see. And this is a good camera. I've been had it for years, but I wasn't using it. So, yeah. Gamers are not angry nerds. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Oh, they say the live started. Where is it? Oh, shoot.
That we gather here, because this campaign has been, above all else, a lesson in faith and obedience to God. And what Dallas County demonstrated on March 3rd is that when people move with purpose, when communities organize, and when faith guides the work, justice truly belongs to the people. I am deeply grateful to the people of Dallas County who showed up, spoke up, and proved that a justice system built by the people will always be stronger than one built by money or political power. I want to begin with gratitude to the voters across Dallas County who participated in this democratic process. Thank you. To the volunteers who walked neighborhoods, made calls, replaced signs every time they were vandalized, and showed up day after day. Thank you. To the everyday residents, clergy, organizers, and community leaders who believed our justice system should answer to the people it serves, thank you. Together, we built a people-powered movement. While others relied on massive fundraising totals, we relied on something far stronger, the trust of the community. Together, we ran a county-wide campaign spending less than $60,000, and my opponent raised over $420,000. But what ultimately decided this election was not money. It was the people of Dallas County. There is an unmistakable message. The people of Dallas County spoke louder than money, louder than endorsements, and louder than any political machine. Because when the people stand together, the outcome belongs to them. What echoes clearly? Justice in Dallas County is not for sale. Justice does not belong to the highest bidder. Justice belongs to the people. And in the spirit of Shirley Chisholm, this campaign proved exactly what democracy looks like when it's rooted in community. This campaign was unbought, unbossed, and powered by the people of Dallas County. When money no longer drives the outcome, the people regain ownership of the system. And that's exactly what Dallas County showed this country in this election. This campaign also required grit. The road was not always easy. The pressure was real. And there were times when it would have been easier to step back. But I have never believed in giving up, and neither do the people of Dallas County. Your faith, your persistence, and your determination carried this movement forward. I would also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge someone who has constantly been on my mind throughout this journey, my mother. My mother transitioned to be with the Lord in April of last year. Her determination, her sacrifices, and the example she set for our family were never far from my thoughts during this campaign. Whenever the work felt heavy, I thought about everything she poured into me, the faith she instilled, the resilience she modeled, and the belief that when you are called to serve, you do the work and you don't succumb to the pressure. Her spirit carried me through many of the difficult days of this campaign, and I know she's smiling today. I want to say this clearly. I look forward to working with everyone who cares about the future of justice in our county, including those who supported my opponent, because the work ahead is bigger than any campaign. My commitment is simple. I will fight every day for the people of Dallas County, for the victims who deserve answers, for those accused who deserve the fair and equal application of the law, for communities that deserve safety, for families that deserve stability, and for a justice system that belongs to everyone. I also want to take a moment to honor the family of a man whose leadership changed the trajectory of justice in this country, former Dallas County District Attorney Craig Watkins. He showed this nation what it looks like when a prosecutor's office leads with truth, evidence, and courage. He proved that a district attorney's office can pursue justice while also pursuing accountability and transparency. Today, I want to acknowledge his family, his mother, his father, his brother, Greg, who is here, and his cousins, who have continued to carry his legacy forward. The Watkins family commitment to justice has meant more to Dallas County than words could ever fully capture. And what I want them to know is this: we will pick up where Craig left off. Dallas County once showed America what justice could look like when courage meets accountability. And together, the people of Dallas County will lead again. Now, the real work begins. My responsibility as district attorney-elect is to ensure that justice works for everyone in Dallas County. Every victim, every accused person, every neighborhood, every zip code. The district attorney's office must be a place that speaks for all victims, whether they live in North Dallas, South Dallas, Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, or anywhere in between. And it must also ensure that every person that is accused of a crime is treated fairly and equally under the law. Justice cannot depend on how much money someone can afford to spend for an attorney. Justice must depend on truth and the evidence. That is why we will begin rebuilding from day one. We will establish community justice councils. These councils will bring residents, community leaders, victims, and justice system stakeholders together so that the policies of the DA's office remain grounded in the needs of the people that we serve. Justice cannot exist in isolation from the community. It must be built with the community. We will also work with the Dallas County Commissioner's Court to fund and establish a robust prosecutorial intake division that mirrors those of our peer cities. This division will allow law enforcement officers to work directly with prosecutors at the earliest stage of a case. Instead of waiting until after an arrest, officers will be able to contact the DA's office in real time to evaluate the sufficiency of potential charges and begin securing evidence from the very beginning. This approach promotes public safety, efficiency, and fairness. It ensures that cases move forward based on strong evidence and that weak cases are identified early on before harm is done to victims, those accused, and the integrity of the justice system. It is a smarter and more transparent way to pursue justice. Dallas County deserves a justice system that's evidence-ready, community-centered, transparent, efficient, fair, and grounded in truth. And that's exactly what we'll build together. Over the past several years, I've been tested in ways I could have never imagined, but those tests did something far greater than challenge me. They sharpened my purpose. And today, I stand here not bitter, not discouraged, but grateful. Grateful for the journey, grateful for the lessons, and grateful for the people of Dallas County. Because together, you reminded this country of something powerful. When communities stand together, trust and truth can still win. Dallas County, this victory belongs to you. It belongs to the voters. It belongs to the volunteers. It belongs to the families who believe justice should work for everyone. And I want you to know that I look forward to working alongside the people of this county. Together, we will restore trust. Together, we will lead with courage. And together, we will make Dallas County a national model for justice once again. Thank you, and may God continue to bless Dallas County.
Let's thank you to DA-elect Amber Givens, and unfortunately, she will not.
All righty. Thank you to my old TV station for giving me, let me run that live stream. Because this independent media, we ain't got them resources to be having people at every single event, but I would love to know if they was, when they having another one. Okay. So maybe we can try to show up. Okay. I'm about to get off here because I have a conversation at 1:00 that I need to prepare for. But thank y'all so much. Bashan, I see your note here. The major networks are afraid to report the truth, so independent media outlets are crucial. Black Press USA, some of the ones that you're naming. I love Black Press USA. Oh, well, add Tashara Parker show to that thing, okay? Hey, man. Judge Dreds, I don't know. Child. Yes. Anyway, okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. We're off tomorrow. That is my Sabbath, and I'm going to enjoy my day off. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And unless something breaks as far as breaking news, you probably won't be seeing me on here. Okay? Yeah, today's Thursday. Bye, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Hey, cousins, thank you so much for watching. Your support is how we keep going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I know you hear me say it all the time, but y'all, that really helps us. It allows folks to find out about the work that we are doing right here on the Tashara Parker Show channel. Remember, we are live every day, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Central. If you like what we are doing, what you waiting on? Okay, don't forget to join the cousin crew. Please consider becoming a member of the Tashara Parker Show channel by hitting the join button. We could not do any of this without all of you. Thank you so much for supporting independent journalism. And as always, subscribe, yes, to the Tashara Parker Show channel. Our voices are more important now than they have ever been. Thank you so much.